Back at his desk in the Gators Man Cave. Sports with Blake.
Hey everyone, so I want to talk about the national championship game, the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Georgia Bulldogs. So I made a video right before the SEC championship game when Alabama and Georgia played, and I gave my prediction. I think Georgia will pull it off 28-24. That's in my eyes. I expect it to be a great game. As you can see, I was wrong. I wasn't like a lot of people. A lot of people had Georgia just steamrolling Alabama for some reason. Look, Nick Saban is still the head coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm never going to count out Nick Saban, okay? It's almost like you never count out or you never bet against Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, LeBron James. Even if you hate them, you could hate these guys, but you still don't bet against them. And yes, I was wrong about my prediction in the SEC championship game. I think Georgia has a pretty good shot at beating the Crimson Tide in the national championship game. Georgia is a 3-point favorite right now, so even the bettors think that Georgia has a real shot. Now, the reason why I think Georgia has a real shot is because I don't think they're going to play defense like they did against Alabama like they did in the SEC championship game. What I saw from Georgia was way too many four-man rush. I mean, they were literally giving Bryce Young all day. If you look on the two big touchdowns that Bryce Young completed, the one to Mechie, which he was pointing to receivers, like, hey, you go this way. It was a four-man rush. And Jordan Davis in the second quarter was about gassed. So I don't know what was up with that. Hopefully that can be fixed because, I mean, it was like early in the second quarter and he was already winded. So that was a bad look. But then on that big deep throw to Jamison Williams, another four-man rush, no pressure at Bryce Young. I feel like Georgia's going to have to bring that fifth, sixth player to get after Bryce Young, get him moving because he is uncomfortable when he's moving. He doesn't want to be moving. He wants to be in the pocket. He looks skittish whenever he's got pressure on him, and it's evident. That is shown because when Georgia did bring that pressure, they had Bryce Young moving, and he wasn't as effective. Now, another cause for concern for Alabama, they're still without John Mechie. Yes, they didn't have him in the Cincinnati game. Look, they didn't need him. They didn't even need to throw a pass in the Cincinnati game. So this is going to be a real test for Alabama without John Mechie in the national championship game. Because John Mechie is that go-to receiver for Bryce Young. Whenever Bryce Young needed a big third down play, he went to John Mechie. So without him is a big loss. Now, Alabama still has receivers like Ja'Cory Brooks, Slade Bolden, Jamison Williams. Of course, they have those playmakers, but John Mechie was that security blanket for Bryce Young. So I don't see Bryce Young throwing for over 400 yards like he did in the SEC championship game. I just can't see it this time. I think Kirby Smart is going to have a way better game plan. He's going to bring pressure. Now, my prediction for the game is Georgia 24, Alabama 20. And I believe it's going to be right there. I believe the over-under is like 52. I believe it's going to come in under that. Now, of course, the biggest question mark for the Georgia Bulldogs is the play of Stetson Bennett. How will he perform in the biggest game of his life? Stetson Bennett in the SEC championship game was fooled a couple times by the Alabama Crimson Tide, especially on that pick six that he threw. He got robbed on that play. He thought it was cover two. Well, the safety ended up breaking. It was a pick six. Now, Stetson Bennett played one hell of a game against Michigan. He threw for over 300 yards. Will that give him some confidence going into Alabama? Now, Alabama's secondary is still suspect. They can be thrown on still. Even Alabama fans know that. The thing about that is, can Georgia block that defensive line and Will Anderson? Because Will Anderson is a dog. That dude is something else. He's going to be a stud in the NFL. In the SEC championship game, Georgia had a 10-0 lead, but Alabama went on that roll 41-10 from the second quarter all the way to the end of the game. They just took it to Georgia, and I just don't think that's going to happen this time. I don't think neither team's going to score over 40. I believe it's going to be in the 20s, and I believe this is going to be a good game. A lot of people are upset because it's two SEC teams. Nobody wanted to see this. But these are the two best teams in college football. This game is going to be totally different than the SEC championship game. I'm excited to watch it. I can't wait. Let me know in the comments what you think. But hey, I appreciate y'all watching my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great one.